Right, we're going to have an unboxing today. This is the ATI FX45-K. This is also known, I think it's also known as the S.A.M Tactical. It's made by Shooter's Arms Manufacturing in the Philippines, if I'm correct. I think that's what it's called. So let's bust it open. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I already had it all apart. Got it a couple weeks ago. I shot 2 mags through it, and everything's stuck to this little magnet here. Anyway, shot a couple mags through it, and I paid a grand total of about, I think, $450 for this gun. Never had a 1911 before. It's my first 1911. I was never really interested in 1911s. Still not all that interested in 1911s, to be honest with you. So I put a couple mags through it, like I said, and it ran great. Did a good job. This is even reasonably accurate. Nothing wrong with it at all, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to tear it all apart. I got to learn everything there is to know about the 1911, right? I like to know everything I can find out about every gun that I own, every piece of property I own. I like to make sure I know as much about it as possible. It comes in this box, little foam-lined cardboard box. It's awesome by me. How many pistol boxes do I have around that are beautiful pistol boxes that'll never see light of day again? It's like my pistols are actually going to go back in them, probably, unless I move or something. And at that point, they come in handy. But I'd rather just chuck that thing in the garbage than, have it around forever. Anyway, just as a just trying to go through the gun completely, there was a lot of grease on it. When I got it, I noticed there was a lot of grease on it before I even took it apart. But that's smart. It's coming from the Philippines, coming across an ocean. If it's ever on a freighter, it might be a good idea in the salt water to, even with salt fog, maybe to grease it up a little bit. This is an all-steel gun. It's also a very heavy all-steel gun, I might add. This thing weighs, fully loaded with 9 rounds in it, this thing weighs 40.3 ounces. And that's with just a crappy 230 grain ball. Let's see, that was it was just regular Winchester white box. I think it weighed 40.3 ounces. It's a heavy freaking gun. I can't imagine anybody carried these things ever all day long in a holster, but they did. Listen, this thing's like its mother was like a scalpel and its father was a hammer. This thing it's pretty beefy. The machine work in the gun is pretty nice. It's well fitted. It's smooth. It's really smooth. Even the trigger's not all that bad, to be honest with you. It could use might be able to use a trigger job, but I think all 1911s could use a trigger job. From what I hear, everybody that has a 1911 ends up doing a trigger job, right? So hey, they spend $850 or $1,000 or way higher for Ed Browns and Wilson Combats and all those Christensen Arms, those high dollar 1911s. It's just $450 and it needs a trigger job, kinda. Totally serviceable. I think it broke around 5.5 pounds. I didn't put a measuring gauge of any kind on it, but I know what a 5-pound trigger feels like, and I'd say it's pushing 5.5, 6 pounds. This trigger, good enough for me. Good enough for service. Good enough for the backyard. Maybe I'll polish it out. Maybe I won't. One thing I'm definitely going to polish out, though. The reason I'm doing the video, I wanted to show this. All the parts, all the parts are good. Everything's, beavertail's nice. Does its job. All the parts do their jobs. The extractor, that sucker's pretty tight, and it was causing, and it's still, when I put it back together, it won't be any different. I'm not going to adjust it. I'm just going to let it see if it works itself out before I go adjusting it. But it throws the brass pretty much right over my right shoulder. So not quite right in my face, but pretty close to right in my face. It's the rounds are held in by this thing extremely tight. I took the slide off, and I chambered spent casing. I didn't chamber it, but I got it slid into the extractor anyway, and I shook the hell out of it. And it took about 7 hard shakes with about everything I had to get the spent casing to come free. So that's a really sticky extractor. Maybe it'll work itself out. We'll find out. I'm going to put about 150 rounds through it this week. Maybe I'll even roll it into this video, or maybe I'll make another video. But like I said, I've got 16 rounds, 2 mags through it so far, and it was whipping them over my shoulder. It wasn't hitting me, not a big deal. But that's just, extractors on 1911s are an easy thing to adjust. You just bend them a little bit, loosen them up a little bit, or just see if they'll work themselves out, which this one might. And if it doesn't do it after 150 rounds, I'll bend it. Now, the one reason I did want to make this video is because I thought of all this beautiful machining. I don't know how well it's going to turn up on the video. Forgive me, I'm not a cameraman. All the nice machining. See that scratch right there? The idiot scratch? Right there. Let's see, right there. It came with that. I did not do that. Gun came from the factory like that. Or unless somebody, like maybe the guy at the dealer had it, maybe he had it apart, maybe he put the idiot scratch on it. Don't know. But the idiot scratch is there. I don't give a shit. I might even Duracoat this thing in some cool color. I don't know. But there's a lot of like this is nice. I like this spot right here. This is like, it's very smooth down. Very smooth. Everything's really nice. I'm actually pretty impressed with this gun. It's basically a full-size frame with a commander length slide and a full-length barrel that's been threaded with a thread protector. So, but the one thing that surprised me, see if I can get a good shot of it. See if I can get, I don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to hold it like this. Look at the flashlight. I might even have to roll in footage here. Right there on the right hand side, right on the right hand trigger channel, where the bow for the trigger comes back. You see the left side, nice and smooth. The right side's got like a big hunk of I don't know, it's like a huge burr. It's hanging out right over the top of the slot, right over the top where the trigger comes back. This camera's kind of crappy, it's not going to focus for me, but you can see it there, and I'll roll in a photograph, like a still photo. But that's it. I'm gonna take the files to it, and I should smooth that right out, no problem. And then the gun will be perfect. I'm actually astounded at how nice the gun is for $450, and it was, like I said, I was at 22 yards. I shot about a 5-inch group, 5-inch, that's 8 rounds, 5-inch group with Winchester white box, and about the same group with the Federal aluminum cased 230 grain ammo. They were about the same, and that alone was good enough for me. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome. I'd like to see what it can do with a good shooter with some good ammo in it. Pretty impressive. It weighs a ton. You get tired shooting the damn thing. I'm used to shooting a VP9, a Heckler & Koch VP9. The thing weighs like, it's a featherweight. And the PPQ, same with that. That thing's a featherweight, weighs nothing. And my other guns are all subcompacts. So going to this thing, I got pretty freaking tired out. My forearm is like, hey, sell this hunk of crap. But I'm like, no, it's a 1911 and everybody's supposed to own one. So get used to it. But anyway, I just wanted to give a little quick intro video of what we're doing here. There's not a whole lot out on YouTube about this gun. It's got a, it's got a milled in Picatinny rail, light rail, and on a full length frame, on a full size frame, with basically what amounts to a commander length slide. It's a very tidy little package, and I didn't see anybody else making a gun like this except for possibly the Kimber TLE, which is a full length, full size frame with a full size slide. Still bigger than this. It's got Novak sights. I mean, it's a pretty. I like it. It was an impulse buy for me. You're supposed to own a 1911 because everybody has a 1911, right? So this was the one I chose. It was heavily feature laden, especially for the $406 I paid for it, plus shipping and transfer. So I've noticed also that this particular model is kind of getting hard to find. I don't know if they stopped making the K or not, but I don't know why they would. But this is actually a useful gun. You can put a light on it. Be a great home defender if you didn't have a whole lot of money. It was reliable. I'm gonna go make it more reliable. I think I'm gonna pump some rounds through it and see if I can get the hiccup. I'm gonna get some rushing garbage too and see if I can really make it fail. But it didn't seem like it wanted to fail. It just shot, and that's what guns are supposed to do. So I know there's a boatload of snobbery in the 1911 community, but I could care less. I could care less about their ridiculousness. The gun runs great so far in the 16 rounds. I'm gonna beat it up. I'm gonna run it hard in the backyard. I'm never gonna carry it anywhere. Freaking thing weighs a ton. I don't know how anybody carries a 1911. But just a quick little intro to say that I'm impressed with this cheapy Filipino 1911. I like it. It's got what I need. If you're in the market for a 1911 and you're broke and you want a rail, this is the gun you should get, no doubt. There is a video online of a guy who does have a, I think he's got an Osprey suppressor twisted onto one, and it takes it just fine. I heard in the early days of this gun that there wasn't enough head space at the end of the barrel to let most silencers to screw on all the way, but they clearly remedied that. You can see on the barrel where that is. You can see where the slide or the barrel bushing was rubbing against it, and then not right about there. There's a little shoulder. And there was reports of the old guns, they were missing about 1/8 of an inch of clearance that they needed. Well, clearly there's about 1/8 of an inch there, then the threading starts. So if you're looking for a 1911 to suppress, well, you can either buy a 1911 and then, expensive 1911 and then buy a $200 threaded barrel to put on it, or just get this thing. The sucker did the job. And even if you really want to tune something up, well, here's a starting point. This might be a great starting point for something to really, if you're broke and you want something to customize over time. The one thing I'm going to say that I hated that I'm going to fix, right here. Okay, this is the safety. You see that beveled edge right there? Let's see, I'm going to put it down here so I can actually point at it. There's this beveled edge. That's the right-hand side. Okay, I'm right-handed. That's the one I use. That's great. Here's the other side, because this is an ambi. This is ambidextrous, not ambidextrous. There's no E in ambidextrous. It's ambidextrous. This edge on the other side, right there, let me tell you, I wish this thing would focus, but that sucker's sharp. That sucker is sharp, and it cuts right into the webbing, like right up here on my knuckle of my hand. You see there's a red mark right there. It's from toying with that safety. When you're gripping the gun and you hit that safety, you thumb that safety off, that edge right there cuts the snot. You can feel it like this. It's sharp. I'm gonna take some files and I'm gonna break that edge good and hard. And anybody from S.A.M Shooter's Arms Manufacturing, or ATI, please take note of that. That'll take you nothing in the factory to break that edge real quick before you put the thing in the whatever this coating is. I think it's almost like Park. It's not parked, but maybe some real rough bluing or something. Before you put it in that tank, break that freaking edge, because that son of a bitch is rough. Ow. I'm going to do it anyway, just to, like I said, I'm not going to carry it ever, but when I shoot it, I want to have fun with it. And that part there is kind of not fun on my hand. So I'm going to break that up. Other than that, I have zero complaints. I'm going to get rid of the burr in that, I can feel it with my finger. I wish I could show it to you better in the video. I'm going to get rid of that burr real quick with the files. No big deal. Needle file, the diamond files will take, make short work of that. And then the frame will be perfect. And I'm going to break that edge on that right side lefty safety there, because that son of a bitch is so sharp. I don't want to sound like a crybaby, but that fucker's sharp. Period. Other than that, I'll get the gun back together. Maybe I'll take a few shots with it, show you what it looks like. But that's it for this portion of the video. Our little update. I just got the gun all back together. I don't have a tripod or anything. It would be really handy. But a couple of notes. I went through and I took that big hunky burr off. I think it was ridiculous. I'll roll in a photo of that. I don't know if you can see it. The barrel, the polished part of the barrel here, that's kind of ugly. But again, not a $1,000 gun, $400 gun, $400. The barrel's blued up to about the point that you can see. That is polished, 45 ACP. Somebody else online said that the grips were plastic. These grips aren't plastic, they're wood. They're dyed or painted with something black. If you get really close in the right light, I don't know if it'll show up on this or not, but if you get up really close in the right light, they'll appear to have a little red hue. I can kind of see it right now, but at first glance, second glance, and third glance, they're black. They're also pretty big. I cut down that safety too. You see the raw steel there. I took a needle file to that sucker. I think it's a lot more comfortable now. I've got the gloves on still, but before I definitely could have felt that through the gloves even before. But yeah, these grips they're pretty fat. I got a fairly good size hand. I'm 6'3". I got a decent size hand, and maybe I'm just really spoiled by the VP9 and the PPQ, which are basically biological extensions of the human body. But this sucker's fat. Like I can't even reach the. I can't push in the mag release. That's for sure. It'd be nice if this were cut out here or something. I've seen them do that before. I think I'm going to get a set of those mag pull grips for it. I mean, they're under $20. That's probably a good buy. That totally fix this. Maybe I'm just not used to 1911s or something, but I can't reach the mag release with my thumb. Just barely. Just barely. If that's the way all 1911s are, then I see the reason that the extended mag release or that jumbo mag release thing exists, because I can't reach that sucker. I'd rather just cut this out, or just like I said, I'm going to get I'll get those mag pull ones and slap those puppies on there and see how they work. That'll allow me to reach it. I don't know how women would use this. Not to do a quick mag release anyway. Not to do like an emergency, like emptying of the mag well. But other than that, it's a great little gun, man. It's a fantastic gun. It's really good now that burr is gone. Not that was having an effect on anything that I noticed, but you can see that here's how the safety works. Really easy. Works really good. It's not too tight. It's nice. It's certain that engaged or disengaged. There's no doubt what the deal is with it. There's no sloppy in-between area. It's very off or on. That's good. The safety works. The grip safety works, I should say. And of course, doesn't look like that either. I'll push in the grip safety. Hold that in. The regular safety works. And there we go. Whole gun works. Does what it's supposed to do. Does it fairly well. Again, this is the American Tactical 45K. Made in the Philippines. S.A.M. Inc. I like it. I think that's it for tonight. Next time you see this gun, I'll be shooting it for you. We'll take a few shots, and maybe I'll let you see like the last, I don't know, the last mag or something I shoot. I'll let you see me fly through it, but I'm gonna pump about another. I got 150 rounds for it, so whatever's left after the 16 I've already shot, that's what I'll be shooting. And I'll let you catch the lag. I only have one mag. I only have the mag that came with it, which, by the way, people have had there seem to be a lot of complaints about that mag. It's made by a company called ACT, A-C-T, made in Italy. And apparently the feed lips crack on them. I'll let you know if that happens with mine. Not a deal breaker for me by any means, because a Chip McCormick mag turns out are like, $14 or something. It's bullshit money anyway. It's not like buying an HK mag, I can tell you that much. So, for $30 or $40, you can get a Wilson Combat magazine. So you're still barely just getting into HK mag territory there. But that's it for tonight. All right. We have 92 rounds of Federal 230 grain aluminum case ball ammo out of the ATI FX45-K. About 27 yards. No, we'll do 25 yards. I'll take a couple steps up. We'll do 25 yards flat to make it nice and easy. I'll stand in the grass instead of on the patio to do this. All right, commence torture test. Alright, there went, what was that? 92 rounds of aluminum cased Federal, 230 grain. Gun appears to like to shoot high and to the left, at least with this ammunition. I changed my point of aim a little bit. 25 yards. I'm going to stop the video now and I'll paste it together again, and we'll start back up with some Winchester white box. Alright, there goes 42 rounds of Winchester white box, 230 grain hardball out of the ATI FX45-K. Alright, let's go to work. 25 yards. Right, there it is. I'll say the last 5 rounds in that mag, there was hiccups, and also there was failure to feeds. But I should mention that there's like no oil in this gun. It's running pretty dry right now. I just gave it a shot of Rem oil last night, the spray-on crap. There's nothing thick in this gun right now at all. So I think if I actually had something in it that was heavier duty than Rem oil, it probably wouldn't have had those problems. One thing I do want to point out is that the thread protector, I just realized, is screwing itself off. So I'll screw it back on, but that's something to watch out for. Don't want to lose your thread protector. That's it though. Mission accomplished. You can see that the barrel's getting snotty on top. That Rem oil's turning. Yeah, that's what it is. It smudges, so that's turning crappy. Probably not the best lube for this gun. I'll lube it up. I'm pretty impressed. I think that Winchester white box definitely was more. The gun's still shooting left, of course, but I think the Winchester white box was more consistent than the aluminum case Federal. The aluminum case Federal is about $10 cheaper a box, though. So, I mean, Walmart has it. It's always there. I think the sights need to be drifted a little bit on this. I'll do it. Big deal. I'm very happy with the $450 I spent on the gun. Congratulations, ATI, on bringing us high value weapons for not much money. Good job. Thank you, markets. Maybe one of these days an American company could release something good and cheap. But until then, I'm totally cool going with the Philippines. Good job, Filipino people. Whoever makes these things, shout out. Awesome. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Peace.